r/AskReddit. What doesn't make sense to you? When people don't want the world to become a better place because they had it hard, so now everyone until the end of time should have it just as hard because that's somehow fair or something. I had a co-worker who grew up in a different country and moved here when she was an early teen. She said her dad would bounce between, we left everything and came here to give you a better life and you have it too easy. Back in my day we had to do X to get Y. People will drive in rain, at night, in a black vehicle, without headlights on. I don't need the lights, I can see just fine. I don't see what the problem is. Of course, you don't. You can't see a thing. When you give someone verifiable evidence that they're wrong, but they don't believe you cause they don't feel like it. And I'm not talking about something that could be doctored or is ancient history. I'm talking about things like a certain law being on the books and showing them it on a state or federal website and they still don't believe you. I have a friend like this, and from what I can tell it's a pride thing. In their mind, them being wrong means you won and are better than them. It does not mean that truth prevailed, it means that their pride was injured and they are below you in the knowledge hierarchy now. Them refusing to believe you doesn't reflect badly on them in their mind, it's them holding on to their pride. Actual truth be damned, they'll be taken to the grave before they admit defeat. Because to them, being wrong is not simply an opportunity to be educated for the future, it's being defeated. When you give evidence of a door cam of package theft with the thief's face on full view, and they can't do anything about it, oh well. Just put a glitter bomb outside. The police is, and has always been, an establishment dedicated to enforce the government's wishes. People pretending that they protect anyone but their bosses are very clearly not paying attention. How airplanes fly. Yeah. Bernoulli's principle, lift, air moving fasting over the curved part of the airfoil, etc. I understand the principle involved. But seriously, it's a metal tube with flat sticks that somehow make it stay up. Confession. My father is a glider pilot. I've flown in them since I was a child, and it still makes no sense. Must be magic. Arthur Weir's dearest wish. Start by imagining a rotating fan. Pretty easy to understand, right? The fan spins and air moves. Great. Now imagine a fan that isn't fixed to the ground. Instead, let's attach it to a helicopter or a boat. This is a propeller. The propeller spins, pushes air or water, and moves the vehicle in the opposite direction. A helicopter stays up by pushing air down. A ship moves forward by pushing water backwards. Now let's get really crazy. What if we made a propeller that didn't spin? Could a straight fan still push air? Well, yes, if you moved it through the air fast enough. That's an airfoil. The wings of a plane are just fan blades that push air down so that the plane stays up. Same with boats. How a huge 9,200 ton ship can stay afloat on the water and not just sink straight into the ocean. Boats are basically bubbles. The hull itself is heavier than water, but the hull plus the air inside is lighter than water. The whole function of the hull is to keep the water from driving that air out, so it's useful. Electricity. No matter what age I've studied it in school, and I'm now in college, I always can't wrap my head around all the concepts of it. Like, why the hell is electricity even a thing? Where and how do charges come about and work? It's the passing of electrons along metal. What's really weird is that there may in fact be only one electron ever. It's just bound to laws, to time, allowing it to be everywhere simultaneously. Welcome to the machine. People who ask questions on Reddit that would be answered more accurately and quickly with Google or Wikipedia tried to make the important bit more conspicuous, since a few people seem to have overlooked it in favor of being unnecessarily argumentative. Some people just want a human to answer, I think. But most of them just want karma. Dark German TV series. So awesome and complex and well acted, but I'm often pausing, rewinding, etc. to keep up with the characters and plot. I have to keep a chart next to me as I'm watching. Wait, who's that guy? Wait, what year are we in? Great show. How all information online, even what you're reading here, is just a bunch of ones and zeros. When you think about it, all stored information is coded. Language is a code. DNA is a code. Perhaps the universe itself is stored information in some sense. Surprise. It is. Sort of. In quantum mechanics it's referred to as information. Information tells every microparticle what it can and can't do, and builds on those rules to create particles, waves, atoms, compounds, and all that lovely stuff. The late Stephen Hawking once tried to say that black holes deleted this, but many physicists and scientists pointed out that it would effectively be impossible, since there's only so much information that exists. So, you are spot on. The universe is a stored form of information coded as a game built on rules with microparticles. Well, for now. We are constantly trying to learn more, and it's still crazy complicated. Why companies can't be happy with some profit versus all the profit. I work for such a company. Every year we have a large meeting just after New Year. Essentially, it's a brag show about how much profit they made last year and how much more they're going to make this year. We are now not allowed to work from home anymore because somehow everyone needs to be present. No more extra pay, they were having some losses. No shit, everyone is. You bring up another good point. Annually, we do the same thing. Talk about how much money we make, but if we didn't hit enough of that sweet profit, our bonuses get cut. For example, this year we missed our estimated profit by 6%, but saw our bonuses cut by 40% because of it and got told we were even lucky to get them because we missed the target. On top of it, we could make unlimited amount of profit and only get 3% increase, but a week into the covered stuff and they slashed our salaries by 10%. The fact that we cut down birds' houses to make bird houses. The bird doesn't know what's good for it. It will sit in our tiny cube houses instead. One bird's house can make many bird houses. Or a bat house, like a bird house, but cooler. People who aggressively demand eye contact in a conversation and call me disrespectful for not maintaining uncomfortable eye contact during every syllable spoken. It's like, what the duck is wrong with you? Don't use my insecurities as a means to say I'm disrespectful, because you're disrespectful. Plus, the world doesn't revolve around you. Cancel culture. I don't get how people can ruin someone's life that they don't even know, often for a single mistake, and then applaud themselves for being woke as opposed to the hateful monsters they are. Why people don't use their goddamn blinkers. It is literally positioned next to the steering wheel to be as convenient as possible to flip on and off. Looking at you, Jessica. Or people who hit the brakes then use their blinker. Like, yeah, thanks for warning me, you were gonna slow down. Why people deny science. Denying science makes them feel like they are more in line with the beliefs of an authority figure or a social group, religion, political party, Facebook group, etc. Openly denying science may even be one of the ways that they publicly signal membership in this group. Members who don't support the group's beliefs will be marginalized, so being seen as a good member of the group is socially important. Denying science gives them some kind of social power or authority over other people. For instance, they may be using their denial of science to promote themselves as an expert on natural medicine or faith healing. They might even be using their science denial to maintain power over their own family members. Science would undermine their sense of control. Denying science allows them to avoid dealing with an unpleasant or frightening truth. For instance, someone who believes that modern medicine is corrupt can deny the seriousness of their chronic medical problems. Denying science makes them feel like the non-scientific alternatives are privileged or secret knowledge that only special people, like them, can understand. Other people are too stupid or too deluded to see the truth. The non-scientific alternatives may be simple and intuitive, or they may involve a lot of pseudo-scientific explanations, but either way the person will be able to quickly acquire a sense of expertise/exclusivity that makes them feel special. Often the non-scientific alternatives are presented in a way that's almost identical to actual science. A homeopathic doctor may wear a white coat and stethoscope. A sketchy diet product website may tout its clinical studies. Essential oils may have warnings and dosing regimens that make them seem like real drugs. Conspiracy theories may be endorsed by hundreds of supposed professionals, and avoiding vaccines may be presented as a very common and pragmatic practice. Why America can't have the same measurement system as the rest of the world. What I don't get is why everyone uses America as the poster child for weird measurements, when England uses a mixture of feet, pounds, kilometers, and kilograms, which is far worse than simply adhering to the imperial system entirely. My kids watch 20 somethings playing Minecraft on YouTube. Alright, I get it. It's like the new TV, but I don't get these 20 somethings reactions to the most mundane things in the game. Like they blow up some TNT in the game and then scream their head off like it was the craziest thing they've seen in their life. Why so much screaming? People call it a cold. If your temperature goes up, shouldn't it be called a hot? Nah, it's called the cold because your body feels cold. More relatable and easier to explain to children. Homophobic and racist people. Friend of mine has told me his boss has said, and I quote, "I know it's wrong to be racist, but I hate those slurs too much not to be. I'm as amazed as you people like that are real and live in the same world I do and vote." How people care more about dying and starving animals than dying and starving people. Because humans bad. Doggo good. Because animals are viewed as innocent beings who can do no harm and only want to be loved, while humans are viewed as flawed, selfish, and evil. Therefore the suffering of humans is justifiable in their eyes. That people say it's my opinion as an excuse to be in butthole. Sure, everyone has their own opinion, but what happened to the saying, if you have nothing nice to say, don't say anything at all? How can some people be stupid all of their life and not realize it? Ignorance is bliss. Handshakes. Do we really still need to check if your business partner has a dagger hidden under his sleeve? And people are disgusting. Not washing their hands after using the restroom and all. Women equally as bad as the men I've heard about. It's worst when the person's hand is sweaty and they just fapped. I'm still trying to figure out why Melania Trump copied Michelle Obama's speech at the Republican convention. And it wasn't just similarities. There were sections that were word for word copied, and she deliberately put those parts in. It wasn't a speech that was handed to her. So the question I don't understand is, 1. Was she so clueless about politics that she didn't know that a Republican copying a Democrat's speech would raise a controversy? 2. Was she trying to subtly sabotage or undermine Trump? 3. Anything else? I just can't figure it out. Poor people making children without thinking about his or her future or how the duck they are gonna raise them. So stupid. Being poor lowers your effective IQ. Your brain power is wasted keeping up with all the bullshit systems that keep poor people poor. That might be part of it. There's also the fact that half the voters are against sex education. Or maybe any form of education. Women whose significant others cheat, but upon catching them, instead of breaking up with the man they attack the other woman, who didn't even necessarily know significant other was taken. Even worse when the other woman finds out and tries to tell her what's going on, and they get mad at the woman. Are men seriously that hard to find that you have to fight tooth and nail to keep one that won't even respect you?